You can have all the fame, all the success you want, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter unless you learn how to love yourself. And if you have trouble doing it, then don't worry, because your online bestie is here and I got you. Hi besties, welcome to the new episode of my podcast. Thank you guys so much for the love and your support on the recent podcast episode. And if you guys like my podcast and you want to keep hearing more, then please rate and review on Spotify or like and subscribe on YouTube. Growing up, my mom would always dress me in these over-the-top outfits. Like for Halloween, I remember no one was dressed up at all to this party and I was the only one wearing this giant pumpkin dress. Every talent show for school, she would do my hair, make me wear these cute little outfits, and during that moment, I would be so embarrassed wearing them because I'm like, no one else is wearing stuff like this. Why am I the only one wearing this? And my mom would always say to me, Charlize, you can literally wear anything you want and it would look good if you're confident in it. And my mom has always just instilled this idea of being confident and just acting confident, and you will make people respect you and you will exude that energy, right? But as I've gotten older and I have gone through high school and college and social media exists and all of that, I didn't always feel super confident. I would care a lot about how people would portray me, and I went through so many phases where I would just compare myself to people and even change my makeup style and change my hairstyle so many times because I just wasn't confident in my look. And I was like, why do I feel this way? Even though ever since I was younger, I have always been taught to just be confident, and that's always been instilled in me, yet I don't feel that way. And what I've come to learn is that self-love is not a feeling that you can master, but it's an intentional choice you make for yourself every day. Because I feel like I hear a lot about people saying, fake it till you make it. Just be confident. When you tell people you're confident, people will believe you're confident and that will make you feel confident. However, that is not the only thing that's going to make you truly love yourself. To truly love yourself, you have to be taking action every day to make you feel loved. One of the biggest things that I feel like when it comes to loving yourself is to learn how to love others first. I realize the most judgmental people are the people who judge themselves the hardest. I literally have friends who are constantly judging how people look every second. But some of the things that they judge people on, I'm like, that is never something that just crosses my mind. And I realize the reason why they judge people on the way they look and stuff like that is because they constantly worry if that's what people are judging them on. These are the same people who literally take so long to post one Instagram photo because they're like, oh my god, someone's gonna say I'm ugly, someone's gonna do this. I'm like, no one's thinking that. The only person who's thinking that is you. If you're someone who is constantly just thinking negatively about others and thinking about how someone looks, how whatever someone's wearing, then it's probably just a projection of what you feel of yourself. So learning how to be compassionate and kind towards other people will help you be kinder to yourself. And just being kinder to other people just makes you feel better in general. Learning to love other people and show kindness to other people is not just the act of not judging them, Learning to be compassionate and kind towards other people is also let's say someone's having a bad day and they give you an attitude, and let's say they're not treating you well. They're being really rude to you. And instead of thinking really negatively about them because of that moment, you take the time to think, okay, this person might be having a bad day and I'm just gonna try to calm them down as much as I can and move on with my life. Because at the end of the day, if someone is making you mad, if someone is acting negative towards you, it's not gonna do anything for you to be negative towards them. Just I don't know, I get hate comments all the time. I get people commenting on how I look, how I dress. And instead of letting that affect me and make me mad, all I really think is I feel for them because personally, me, someone who is happy with my life and I love myself, I won't go out of my way to take the time out of my day to comment on someone else's post and say something bad about them, And for someone to comment and take the time to comment something on a video that, let's say they don't like, that just shows how bad their life is or how bad their mental health is. And I don't think of them negatively. I just honestly wish them the best, and I wish that they find the love that they need for themselves. With social media in general, it's really easy to just compare yourself with other people on social media. And I've said this multiple times, and I'm sure you already know this. You've already heard it so many times that social media is just a highlight reel, and everything you see is not 100% authentic. People rarely ever post the times they look the worst. Limiting your social media is gonna do nothing but benefit you. I, working as a social media content creator, try to limit my social media usage as much as I can because I do see the effects of being on social media and being off of it. I think it's proven that the average social media screen time you should have is 2 hours or less a day. No matter how many times you tell people, like, social media is a highlight reel, like, this is not 100% authentic, whatever, people are still going to compare themselves. I compare myself, even though I know, being a content creator, I know that things that I post are not 100% authentic or real, or I'm just posting the times I look the best. I still see other people post and I will still compare myself. So just limiting your social media usage, unfollowing the people who you compare yourself with the most or make you feel bad about yourself. There is nothing wrong with unfollowing like friends who you think have a negative impact on you. It's really easy to fall into that hole of comparing yourself. And I find that whenever I start using social media a lot more, that's when I feel the most insecure. Another thing about learning how to love others and treating others well to love yourself is also taking time to think, like, how do you treat the people that you love? Because the way you treat people that you love is the same way you should treat yourself. Like, let's say you have a child or a pet or a partner or a friend. How do you show them your love? Because I know that I'm the type of person, I put a lot of energy into the people that I care about, and I became aware that I needed to put that energy into me as well, because I was putting a lot of energy into other people, not putting that into myself at all. Let's say you have a friend that you care about so much and you value your friendships a lot and you do anything for them. You get them gifts. You are always trying to hang out with them, whatever. You're giving them compliments. Not saying that you should take that energy away from, your friends and stuff like that, but using that energy and putting it into yourself as well. I was definitely someone who would put so much energy into my partner and literally take all that energy away from myself. Now I give myself gifts. I get myself flowers. I take myself out on dates. Another one I like to think about a lot is pets, because I'm a big animal person. I love my dog, and I feel like a lot of people love animals. And if you think of like how much love you show your pet, like, you need to show that to yourself too. I am always making sure that my dog is healthy and safe because he's literally my child. And I feel like a lot of times we like to neglect our health and stuff like that, like going to the doctors, getting your blood checked. If you have something wrong with you or you feel like something's wrong with you, get that checked right away. Like if something was wrong with my dog, I would get so scared and be like, no, we need to get him checked and he needs to figure out what's wrong with him. But sometimes, like, when there's something wrong with us, we're kind of just like, oh, it'll pass. And then it builds up and it gets worse over time. Stuff like getting your health check, hygiene, and all of that, that is another act of self-love that you need to be implementing into your life daily. If you neglect that, like, over time, that will show within your physical appearance, within your mental health. If you need to get things done, you need to make sure you're getting that done as soon as possible so it doesn't build up and you just have a pile of stuff that you have procrastinated on. So once you know how to show love to other people and also use that onto yourself, you also need to know who is worth showing your love to. Making sure you're taking the time and love to people who deserve it is really important, to people who show you the same love as well. Don't put out love to people who don't deserve it or who treat you bad, because that is not going to do anything for you. You're neglecting your self-respect when you do that. It's okay to say no to friends, to relationships that don't treat you well. It's okay to let go of things that you feel like you don't need. I, over time, have really learned how to just let go of people who just give off negative energy. Everybody says when you know, you know. And when you feel that negative energy, you need to just be like, okay, I'm removing you. Whenever I feel like someone is not someone that I want to be around, I immediately remove them, block them, never want to hang out with them ever again, because I don't have time for that. You know, I need to put that time into myself. I need to put that time into friends and family who deserve it. I don't have time for someone who's not going to respect me. And that is another choice that you make to show your respect for yourself and your self-love for yourself. Once again, it's not always going to be a feeling of just being like, hey, I love myself, I'm confident, but the actions you make. So like removing people that you don't want in your life is an action that you're making to show yourself that you love yourself. Because if you love yourself, you're not going to allow people to walk all over you. You're not going to allow friends to disrespect you, talk behind your back. You're not going to let relationships disrespect you. If you feel like you're not being treated well at all, and you've already told this other person, hey, I feel like I'm being disrespected when you do this, and they still continue to disrespect you, that's you disrespecting yourself if you're continuing to allow someone in your life do this to you. Because you're showing yourself, hey, this is what I deserve. So protect your peace, love the people who deserve to be loved, and leave the people who don't. And that will show you the respect that you deserve. A few other daily self-love habits I like to incorporate just like in my schedule every day is affirmations. I love saying affirmations to myself in the morning, at night, and from the mirror. I like to journal it. That is just something so easy that you can do literally 5 minutes in the morning. I have been doing it like every morning now, and it is really nice just to start your morning with like saying, I am beautiful. I am achieving everything I want. I am the luckiest girl in the universe. Stuff like that. You can find affirmations that reflect you or resonate to you online anywhere. So affirmations, love incorporating that. Daily movement, I realize that is also something that's so important, especially during the winter and like whenever I'm working. I kind of hibernate in my apartment, but I realize how much better my mood is when I just take like 10 minutes to step outside if it's, you know, the weather's like pretty okay, to just even walk around to grab a coffee. So daily movement, or if you are someone who likes to go to the gym, going to the gym in the morning, I'll go to the gym like 3 to 4 times a week. As I said before, checking on your health. This is something that I feel like is very easy to neglect. Whenever you're feeling a little bit sick, or whenever you notice something is off, for girls, like if you notice your period is off, getting that checked, because especially periods for girls, I know a lot of friends who have really irregular periods, who will miss a month, and I feel like because it's not really talked about as like this big issue, people just kind of neglect it. But if you are not getting your period, girl, you need to get that checked, okay? Because you could have like PCOS or something, and that could cause long-term effects. So making sure you are going to get things checked regularly. If you feel like, let's say, a tooth in your mouth is hurting, going to the dentist and getting that checked. Those are all steps and habits of showing yourself love because you are taking care of your body. So don't neglect out on stuff like that. More daily habits that you can just implement every day is just eating well too. That is also something I feel like is so easy to neglect, especially when we're busy. I know a lot of you guys are in school, so packing your lunch, making sure you're packing a meal so you're not skipping any meals, eating well, eating clean, eating foods that nurture your body, make you feel good. Sleep is also a big thing. Getting 7 to 8 a day is very important, and it just makes you feel good in the morning. For me, as someone who has really bad acne and all of that, I notice that when I don't get enough sleep, I break out so much. And if you're someone who also just like breaks out a lot, that could be another thing. Changing my bed sheets every month, changing my pillowcases every month as well. Keeping my environment just clean in general is just an act of self-love and self-respect. making sure I make my bed in the morning, making sure I do my dishes, making sure every week I do my laundry and just like do a little deep clean of the apartment. And grooming, I have mentioned grooming a lot of times. Just being a clean person, brushing your teeth, washing your hair, wearing clean clothes, making sure you smell clean, giving yourself like an everything shower. If you don't know what an everything shower is, that's when you like shower and literally do everything that you need to do, like exfoliate, shave, condition, all of that. Getting things done, as I said before as well, like if you have, let's say, an assignment that is due in a week, getting that done as soon as you can, not procrastinating on it. There's like side things that I also just like sometimes will forget to get done, and it just kind of piles up and it really affects me. Other things that you can start implementing in your daily life or weekly, it's just hobbies. It could be as simple as learning a new language. Rather than just constantly watching TV or scrolling on social media, just finding other things to replace that. Start picking up drawing or painting. You should be spending most of your free time on things that calm you down, are very therapeutic. I have a lot of friends who are really into like crocheting, knitting. I heard that is something that's super therapeutic for people. I personally like reading. I like going out for walks. I like taking different classes. Especially living in New York City, there's so many cool classes that you can take, like baking classes and stuff like that, and just like doing your research on wherever you live and seeing what's in your area. And another thing that you can do every day that I love doing is journaling. Just writing down your goals for a month or for the next few months is super important. It just makes you feel more proactive when you write down like the things you want for yourself and things that motivate you and things that you can look forward into the future. I also really like, from time to time, whenever I feel really overwhelmed or insecure, I like to take the time to write in my journal energy givers and energy drainers. So I'll write things that give me energy, and then I'll write a list of things I feel like are draining my energy, and I'll reflect on that and know what I should add more into my life and I should remove out of my life as well. Shadow work prompts are also very important if you are someone who is figuring how to love yourself and you're feeling insecure, and sometimes we don't know why. It's kind of like therapy. Like you just kind of ask yourself these questions, and when you take the time to write it down and like answer these maybe like deeper, harder questions to answer, you kind of open up like this bag inside you that you've been like hiding, and you just realize a lot of things. Because sometimes I'll be doing like these shadow work prompts and I'll just like write, and I keep writing. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe this is why I feel insecure, or maybe this is why I can't get things done, So journaling I highly recommend it. I personally really like journaling in an actual notebook rather than the computer, because I spend most of my time like for classes and for work on the computer anyways. So having like a different setup when it comes to like journaling is really nice. So like on paper instead. And gratitude. I cannot stress enough being grateful for the things around you that you have in your life, and just celebrating literally everything in your life, like celebrating the smallest things. It could literally be something so small like waking up and getting out of bed today. That should be something you celebrate. If that is something that you feel like you have a hard time doing and you did it today, good for you. Even if you don't have a hard time doing it, you were still able to get out of bed today and wake up and start your day, and that is amazing. A lot of times we all have these like huge goals that we want to achieve, and we forget to take the time to just celebrate ourselves, that we are here today, and be grateful for what we do have. We're constantly striving for money, success, all of this, and like usually by the time we do get it, we kind of forget that was such a big goal that we had, because it's like now we have it, So it's really important to just be grateful and happy for now. Like having a body to go to the gym and move around every day, having a roof over your head, being able to eat what you want to eat. Those are all things that we need to take the time to celebrate. Something that really helps me fall asleep at night too, because sometimes I'll have trouble falling asleep, is I'll sit and I'll go through my entire day, and I will point out everything that happened throughout the day that made me really grateful. And it's just a really nice, happy way to end the day and like fall asleep to. Because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes my intrusive thoughts whenever I'm just like laying in bed in the dark, and I will think some really, really dark things, and I will not be able to fall asleep. But this habit of just like listing things I'm grateful for every day to help me fall asleep is a lot better, and it kind of distracts my mind from my intrusive negative thoughts. So definitely a great habit I recommend incorporating. And reward yourself. I think it's okay to get yourself a little treat for things that you do accomplish. Let's say you made it through a week of classes. End that week with a little treat. Go get some ice cream. Go buy yourself a nice dinner or something. I feel like sometimes we don't take the time to just reward ourselves for the small things, you know? I think we celebrate and reward ourselves for really big accomplishments, but even the small ones deserve it, you know? And you never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Life is too short to not be grateful for today and not be happy in the present moment and love yourself. I understand, like, whenever you're really, really stressed or you have a lot of bad things going on in your life, you don't want to be grateful, because I get like that too. Like, sometimes I'll be so overwhelmed that I'm like, literally, frick this. I don't want to list the things I'm grateful for because I don't feel grateful. But I promise you, just like writing stuff like that down will help you a little bit, and it's way better than just like constantly thinking negative things. Over time, when you keep incorporating this habit into your life, it will just make your life so much peaceful and at ease, and you'll get stressed less often. This is why this stuff is really important, to just make it a habit every day rather than only doing it whenever you feel stressed. And if you're someone who is constantly just worried about what other people are thinking of you, it's hard. I understand that. But you have control of your own thoughts, not other people's. So let's say someone is thinking bad about you, okay? What can you really do about it? You really can't do anything about it. All you can really do is think positively, feel bad for them. Hey, you're thinking so bad about me. I'm sorry for you because I think I'm great, right? And if you don't know what they're thinking, then don't assume. Do not assume that someone is thinking badly about you if you don't know, because our brains, we just love to assume the worst. And usually it's really not that deep. So never assume. Just assume that if you are going to assume that they're thinking something good about you. At the end of the day, I've said this before, people are mostly only thinking about themselves. Everyone's so worried about themselves that you don't even need to worry about what other people are thinking about you, because they're probably not thinking about you. As much as it sucks to say, the world can be a negative place. So why would you want to take that negative energy and just use it on yourself even more? Like, there's really no point for you to be negative to yourself. It's that time again where I read your guys' personal growth stories. You all really seemed to like the last one I did, and I really loved reading them. So I'm going to keep doing this for the rest of my podcast. So if you want me to hear your personal growth story and read it in my next podcast, make sure you write it in the Q&A section of Spotify, or you can write it in the comments of the YouTube video. This first one comes from Cell Mace, I think is the name. They said, school came easily to me until I did IB, rigorous high school program, and failed my senior years 2 times. I had to learn how to actually study, and after hard work, I got my diploma. Now I start at my dream uni in the fall. This, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I read this and I almost cried. You failed senior year 2 times, but you continued to work to get the diploma, which not a lot of people can say they do. I feel like that's something that would happen to people and they would just kind of be like, give up and be like, okay, you know what, like, this is it. But you continued working, and you got your diploma, and you're going to your dream university in the fall. I'm so proud of you. That just shows how much motivation you have and determination. I am sure that whatever challenges you face in the future, you will be able to work through it as well, because you just have such a great mindset. And yeah, thank you for sharing that. This one from Sydney also has something to do about school. I went from a straight A student in high school to a BC student first year of college, and now I'm back at an AB student with so much involvement. I finally found my happy place and good friends. Sydney, I am so happy for you. college, like the transition from high school to college, I know is so difficult, especially like work and school and friends, like the balance of like social and school and all that. Sometimes it takes time to get used to. So if you had a hard time the first year, that's honestly not something you should even be ashamed of or anything. This goes out to anybody who is starting college or anything. And just like, you know, being able to adapt to it, like Sydney here, you were able to adapt to it and get back to being an AB student and find friends and activities to do while you're in school. That's what college is about too. It's just finding yourself and learning about what your skills are and your abilities and what you like. So I am really happy for you that you have been able to do that, and I hope that the rest of your college career is amazing. This next one comes from M. They said, I used to be so jealous of people prettier than me, but now I always compliment people and tell them how pretty they are or how proud I am of their accomplishments. Good for you. This is just something I've, like I said, mentioned in my podcast all about self-love, is loving other people and showing love to them, and I hope that makes you feel better. And you should not be jealous of people because you are beautiful and you deserve all the love too. And when you give out that love to other people, they will bring it back to you and life will bring it back to you as well. I'm proud of you that you have been able to make this change because it is hard. It's a hard change for sure. And that mindset can be a hard mindset to switch to, but the fact that you've been able to do it is amazing, and I just know that you are going to have a life full of love and confidence and success. That is all for today's podcast. I hope you guys liked this episode. Like I said, please rate and review, and also like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and I'll see you guys on the next Reset Sunday. Bye!